Welcome to the Excelsior Health Podcast. This is the podcast for busy professionals who are looking to lose 20 plus pounds of fat while building strength and transform their health. What we do, guys, on this podcast is we break down the complicated aspects of health and fitness, and we break it down to simple strategies and simple tactics so that way you guys can see actual results. Now, on today's podcast episode, I am doing this a solo one. And I want to talk about the concept of flow, all right, and how fitness and living a healthier lifestyle can get you into a more constant state of flow in your personal and your professional life. So this weekend, I traveled to Las Vegas. I wasn't there to party, even though I did a little bit of partying. I was there because I'm part of a business mastermind group. I'm really a big believer in constantly investing into my professional and my personal development. So the cool thing about that is often I get to travel the world and listen to these amazing speakers teach. And one of the people, a very profound author, I think he showed us like 10, 12 different books. His name's Steven Kotler. And he's one of the lead experts in the world on the state of flow. Right? So what he does is for years, he literally travels around the world following, I guess you could call it high risk athletes. So surfers, rock climbers, all types of like crazy athletes. And he studies how they stay in a state of flow and like what happens in their brain, what happens in their body while they're in this state. So it was actually amazing. I think the reason why we brought him in, or the leader of the mastermind brought him in, is as gym owners, we're gym owners, we're trying to be successful, we're trying to impact more lives, we're also trying to build a business that's more profitable, but also, hey, we have families and we have, times where we feel overwhelmed and distracted. So I think the concept of why we brought him in is to help us be more productive and have better concentration while we're at work. But then also, hey, being in flow when we are with our family and when we're in other important areas of our life. So I was really looking at it as like, man, this is going to be a way to help me work harder and work longer. But the really cool thing that I took away from it, it actually made me more think about my personal life and how there's so many areas right now that I'm falling off. I'm not being as sharp. And now it's impacting my work and my professionalism. So basically what I want to do is I want to just share with you guys some of the things I learned because there were some key takeaways that really, really connected and transferred over to health and fitness. All right. So first couple of notes that I want to put here that I wrote down is fitness creates more of a flow state. So it was so cool. Like in our program, we have a saying. We say 4 days for life. And what this saying represents is we want our clients to become people that their life revolves, I guess, if you want to say that, but their life is centered around, hey, I train 4 days a week. Doesn't matter if I go on vacation, it doesn't matter what's going on. I'm just the type of person that I work out 4 days a week because there's so many benefits mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially that come with that. So I found it so cool that he included fitness and walking as forms of recovery and forms of active recovery that help people get into flow. But he specifically said this one line. He said, flow follows focus and passion. But then he also had this exact time. He said, hey, 4 hours a week. If people connected to their flow, their micro flow is what he called it, 4 hours a week, they would get back into flow more into their personal and professional lives for longer periods. And then he also went deeper. So and I'll give you some examples. He said, obviously, working out. If people are in their workout for 4 hours a week, that's going to help them be able to concentrate better. But he also said other things like, if you're an artist and you love to paint, but now you don't paint anymore because you're taking care of your kids, you're working more, you have other responsibilities. Now you're not getting into flow more. But now if you make time during the week where there's maybe 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, of doing that painting, that's going to help you get back into flow. right? Another example is sometimes people are again, artistic. They like to play music. Maybe sometimes it's writing poetry, it's journaling. Maybe sometimes it's creating content because you actually enjoy it. So, key takeaways that I want to give you guys to start is flow, right? That state of being in the zone, that blissful state where like things seem to slow down or even they seem to move faster for you because you're just in this trance. It will increase in your life if you're doing something that you truly enjoy. So making time for these things that you enjoy is super important. On the other end is training and exercise, is when you're making time to do those things. Now, when you go back to work and you got to get into flow and you got to finish this assignment that's due, this is what helps you do that. So that was just a huge breakthrough. Now, a couple other things that I want to go through here is getting into flow means you have to protect your concentration and you have to protect your focus. And we live in a world nowadays where like our attention is like for grabs. Like our attention is like the number one currency now in the world. There's scientists, there's specialists out there that they know how to design our phone in certain ways to get us to concentrate, to stay on the app, to watch the video longer. The way Netflix and Paramount and how the videos keep going that makes us stay for one more hour to watch that video. So if we are not aware of these certain tactics and if we don't create certain boundaries and certain strategies for ourselves, we can often be distracted. And if we're constantly distracted, that means we're not going to be productive, we're not going to be in flow, and we're probably not going to achieve some of our biggest results that we want. And I guess if I relate this to this podcast, if we're constantly distracted and we're not doing the right things, we're probably not going to eat, we're probably not going to move, we're probably not going to sleep, and we're probably not going to be at the health that we want. All right. So right here, I wrote down, it was basically it was basically tips on how to keep your focus. So I'll share with you what I put in my notes. It was number one, 90 to 120 minutes block of uninterrupted focus. So I've heard this in different forms as I've followed different people. Craig Ballantyne is someone that I like. He's got a great book called The Perfect Week Formula. And it's essentially on how to be more productive and how to get into flow, but he calls it magic time. And this is like 90 minutes to 2 hours of like getting deep creative work done. So this can mean different things for different people. This might mean in your office, there's other things going on, but it's taking your phone, right? Putting it away, turning it off, and you can't get any notifications for 2 hours. You can't get a text message. Like nobody can contact you because you are in the zone getting this valuable work done. Other times, this might mean if you have more flexibility, maybe you're a business owner, self-employed, is maybe you're not around your other employees and your clients. Maybe this is you at home, and you're sitting down and you're in a room where it's just you. There's no light coming in. There's no TV on. It's literally you and the task at hand and focusing yourself on getting that done. So that's a big thing that helps with your focus is that 90 minutes to 2 hours. I think a lot of us, and I've learned this the hard way, is like we're just trying to work. And there's only so much you can do deep work in. So you might have 8 hours available on the schedule where you're doing work, but then you have your TV on, your laptop on, you have your phone on, you got music on, and the quality and the depth of work that you're getting done is like very minimal. And I would argue based on what this research has shown me, but even in my own personal life, is condensing that down, getting rid of these distractions, you can get, 8 hours worth of work done in 90 minutes to 2 hours with being in flow and having the deep enough focus. All right. So key takeaway, create a 90-minute to 2 hour block, whether it's every day in your workday, or at least you can start with once per week. If you can't figure out how you could do that every day, once per week where you have that magic time where it's creative work. All right. So number 2 is task focused. So just basically what I got from it is like, hey, if you wake up every day and you have no idea what you're trying to accomplish of the day, you're most likely going to not accomplish anything. So if you can kind of put anywhere from 3 to 5 critical tasks throughout the day that need to get done, and that could be, hey, I need to drop off the laundry. I need to have this hour meeting with this person. I need to write out this plan for this. I need to go on my bank and do an audit of my expenses. These are all tasks. So if you have that outlined on when in the day you're going to do it, now when you have your day, you know the days and time, you go and do it. You don't do other things. You focus on that task at hand until it's completed. All right. Now, one other side one for that is start with the biggest task first. So I forgot the author. It might be Mark Twain. He has a book called Eat the Frog. And that's what the whole book is about, is take your thing that takes the most brain power, that causes you the most like anxiety, or like, oh man, I really got to get this done. Put that first in the day and put all your time and attention towards getting that done. Where most of us, we do it the other way around. We have this thing that's kind of taunting us and tormenting us. We keep putting it off and we do the small tasks, and then we waste time doing the small tasks, and then we still end the day like, oh shit, I still got to do this thing. And it keeps being procrastinated. Now, number 3, again, distraction management. I kind of alluded to this already, is stop yourself from having the cell phone going off. Stop yourself from scrolling on social media. Stop yourself from the TV. Even too, like for me, sometimes I have to be almost in an area where, because I'm in the gym, is sometimes that my clients are not going to be able to talk to me because it's going to break my flow, or my staff is not going to be able to interrupt me during this period because it's going to break my flow. So just being really clear on what are the things that distract you and setting up barriers for that. Number 4, communication batching. So I thought this was super cool, is a lot of times I'll have my phone beside me and I'm constantly responding to messages. Where if you apply communication batching, it's you only respond to messages on set times in your schedule. So maybe for you, you pick 2 times where you're controlling your morning and you're taking care of things you need to, whether it's your fitness, it's the magic time we just talked about. And now lunchtime comes, that's when you respond to all the messages. That's when you respond to all the emails. And then you create another time, maybe it's in the evening, after dinner at 7:30 p.m. You want to disconnect after 8 o'clock, but this is the other batch when you respond to some of those messages and those emails, but then you disconnect at 8 o'clock. That's a very powerful way to stay in flow, is have specific times in the day where you communicate to people. Instead, your phone goes off, emails come in, all you're doing is responding to other people's schedule. Number 5, communication channel limits. I thought this was super cool, is we live in a day and age where people can get a hold of you in multiple ways. They can call you, they can video you, they can WhatsApp you, they can Facebook Messenger you, they can send you an Instagram message, they can, like, the list goes on. They could send you mail. But for you, what I'm trying to say is figure out the ways of communication that you like and use those avenues. If you don't really like responding on social media, don't worry about getting messages on social media. People will learn, whoa, this guy never responds back. Let me try him on text. If you don't like having WhatsApp, don't have WhatsApp. So I would recommend having 1 to 2 forms of communication and let people know, hey, this is the best way to get a hold of me. So typically for me, I like texting and I like WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I can send voice notes and things like that too, but like those are my 2 go-tos. I hate emails. I literally ignore emails all the time. I don't like checking my voicemail. So these are ways that can be less distracting, where you're worrying about, did I talk to this person here? Did I talk to that person here? These are my 2 forms of communication. Last but not least, I thought this was an interesting one, conversations in advance. So the way I kind of remember it was just basically letting people know, like almost pre-framing that, hey, just so you know, like this could be for your family, for me, hey, just so you guys know, Daddy's going to be super busy for today. So, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Daddy's not going to be really around. I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to be at work. So when I get back from work, I'm going to be able to give you guys your time. Or it might be letting your team know, hey guys, just so you guys know, from this time to this time, I'm not accessible at email, but the best way to get a hold of me is here. So it's just letting people know and communicating in advance so they have an understanding of, oh, that's why I can't get a hold of them. All right. So those are all ways to kind of protect your focus that I found that was really, really powerful. Before I give you guys some other ones, another key point that I should have said this in the beginning. One of the big breakthroughs that he actually said that really, really was profound for me, that was kind of like the inspiration behind the episode. He said, so much people struggle with depression, anxiety, stress. And the reason why they struggle with this is they lack flow state in their life. So on the opposite end, confidence, competence, self-belief, a lot of those emotional states, they're reinforced by when you are constantly putting yourself in flow. So it was such a great connection. Is like, man, people go through their life, especially as we go from being kids, teenagers, young adults, and we experience less and less flow state. Partly why is we're not doing the things that we're passionate about. We're not doing the things we love anymore. We're more doing things that are stressful. So as you mature as an adult and now you stop playing the guitar, you stop going for walks and meetups with your friends. I remember me as an athlete, my whole life was centered around competing. It was being at practice. It was playing sports. From this season, it was basketball. Then it would be football, back and forth. It was playing in stands, getting a reaction from the fans, getting touchdowns. And once that chapter of my life passed, I went through depression. I went through stress because I didn't know what to do. I was just like, what's my flow? What's my new thing? And fortunate enough for me, I reconnected to fitness, but even deeper than that, training for warriors, the system, it helped bring flow into my life because now I became a coach. And when I started coaching people in delivering the TFW system, I reconnected with flow. I would get lost in the time and I would just be having this amazing, blissful experience helping people. And then boom, flow became back in my life. But then now what I started to realize the connection is when I got people to train with me, they were now getting in flow. They weren't thinking about what was going on with their kids, their family, their work. For that 1 hour, they were connected to their body. They were breathing. They were laughing. They were having fun. They weren't focusing on their phone. And that helped not eliminate anxiety, stress, and all those things, but it helped better manage it. So it was such a connection for me because at Training for Warriors, our mission is to save lives. And typically what we're saving people's lives from is, yes, cancer, yes, obesity, diabetes, but it's also anxiety, depression, stress, loneliness. So for you guys watching this, I hope this episode is hitting home with you that it's like, man, being healthy and fit helps me get into flow, but I also got to make sure that in my personal life, I'm creating these moments of flow. So that way I can overcome stress, anxiety, depression, etc. So giving you guys, again, some more things that I took away. Nervous system management. So when you work out and you train, you're putting stress on your nervous system. Nervous system is an important thing. You can make your nervous system get really low. You can excite your nervous system. So these were 5 tips to kind of help better manage your nervous system. So number 1 is gratitude. So gratitude, you can work on your gratitude every day, guys. All it takes is 5 minutes. There's very simple things you can do. You can sit there peacefully and you can think about something that's grateful. What I think is even better, it makes you connected even more, is you're actually writing it down. So write down 3 things in your journal. This is my journal right here that you're grateful for. That just happened that day or they happened in the week, whatever comes to mind, right? It's very difficult to be unhappy and stressed and like agitated while you're practicing grateful. You can't do it. You can't be upset and be appreciative and thankful at the same time. So it literally changes your nervous system and your state. Even to I don't know the full science behind it, but like there's research that shows when people are practicing gratitude, literally the types of things in your body start to change. Like your nervous system, your hormones, they change because you're putting your mind towards that positivity. Now, number 2, reading. This is one of our 8 habits of a winning warrior that we have at Training for Warriors, is literally reading for 10 minutes. So whether you're someone who needs to read in the morning or you need to read at night, I like to read at night because it actually calms my nervous system and gets me ready for bed. 10 minutes. 10 minutes for most people could equate to 10 pages. And I would recommend, if you're going to go reading, for most people, some people maybe say different, read something that's going to make you better, right? It could be learning about some sort of skill, some sort of personal development thing. Number 3, mindfulness. So mindfulness is very vague. The way I kind of got it from him is like grounding yourself in the moment and just being present in the moment. So whether it's watching a sunset, looking outside, for me, it could be literally sitting down with my kids and just talking to them, not my phone on me. Like we're making eye contact, we're touching each other, we're hugging each other. That to me is mindfulness. Being present with where I literally am and not working, not watching TV, not on technology. So he put 15 minutes of that. Now, number 4, walking in nature. So we've talked about this extensively on on this podcast. We call this forest bathing. That's like a Japanese term. But again, for 20 minutes, can you be outside? Let the sun on you, let the fresh air on you, but being around the trees and being around the plants, these are things that like calm your nervous system and make you more at peace. Last but not least, what we kind of preach on this podcast is exercise. Exercise is good. It means you're sweating, you're moving, you're doing some sort of random workout. Even better than exercise, guys, is what we call training. Training means you're following a program and you actually care about getting stronger. And then what he has here is at least for 40 minutes. So all these things that I just said right now, that could equate to, I think that equates to anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours. So these are 5 impactful things for your nervous system that will help you get into flow, especially professionally, if you're doing that. And that's 90 minutes to 2 hours. That can lead to a way more productive 22 hours in your life. All right. Last thing, guys, I think this is super important. Part of the flow state is you have to recover. So, and I could just give you an example. When there's moments that I've been in flow state, catching footballs, breaking tackles, after the game, you're exhausted. And it's not just exhausted physically, it's exhausted mentally. And this was one huge takeaway that I learned, is your brain burns so much calories. Like I think it takes up almost 20% of the calories for your brain to be working. So, you know, when we go home and we're sitting on the couch, we feel like we're resting, but we're also watching TV. We're also scrolling on Instagram. Our brain is still working and it's still burning these calories. So we're not truly recovering and we're not truly resting. So I wrote down non-negotiables for recovery that, again, these help you get back into flow state in your everyday life. So number 1, protect your schedule. If you don't have a schedule, you will be on somebody else's schedule. You're just going to be running on, reacting to other people's stuff, and you're not going to find that you're going to have the time for the people you love, the things you need to do, for the work responsibilities you have. Is you have to create a schedule. We have previous episodes, if you guys scroll back, where we talk about winning habits, that goes into that. Number 2 is your sleep hygiene, right? It's creating a sleep schedule, but within the sleep schedule, are you actually getting restful sleep, right? So we have different tactics. We've talked about the 3-2-1 sleep formula where, hey, 3 hours, disconnect from eating food, 2 hours, disconnect from intense focus on work, and in 1 hour, disconnect from technology. Now, number 3, active recovery. So what I said about active recovery, that's like not something like a workout, like a strength training workout, because that's a little bit more stressful on the nervous system. You need to recover from that. Active recovery would be like a walk, would be like a massage. It might be a cold shower. It might be sitting in a sauna. Those are forms of active recovery, yoga, that will help rebuild you back up, right? Number 4, nervous system management, which is what I just explained. Practicing gratitude, reading, again, walking, being present in the moment. Those are all things that recalibrate your nervous system. And the last one that I think was really helpful for me, don't take your emotions too seriously. So whatever you go through during the day, whether you got upset at yourself, you got upset at other people, you had a loss, you had a bad weigh-in, you had a bad lift, something went wrong at work, it's probably not as bad as you think it is in the moment. And just think about it like, will I care about this a year from now? If not, chalk it up to, hey, today was a loss, but you know what? I'm going to learn from this loss and I'll be right back. Right? So we don't have to believe our emotions so much in the moment. All right. So overall, guys, I hope you got some things that you guys could implement. I know for me, I looked back at this situation and I was like, man, I don't feel like I've been in flow with my career. I feel like I've been running around with my head off, and even my workouts. For someone who values coaching so much, I've been struggling to want to work out. And I've been working out because I'm disciplined enough, but I haven't felt like, man, let's go, like, and enjoying it. And just this simple thing, these little simple tips were little good reminders for me, where this last point I'll give you is I was struggling with my workout commitment, but basically what I realized is I would go from a meeting right into working out with no buffer time. And I wouldn't even change my clothes. So the simple thing of making sure I change my uniform and put on different clothes, that helped me put me in a state to work out. Giving myself a 15-minute buffer between work and transferring mentally and emotionally into a workout, that helped me enjoy my workouts that much more. So I'm going to end it off here, guys, because I can keep going on, but hopefully you guys see the importance of how your health and your fitness in incorporating some of these habits can lead to more flow in your personal life and then help you guys better manage stress and anxiety. Coach Cory signing out. Beastin'.